Let me introduce you to Ryan Black, a 22-year-old first-generation farmer forging his own path from scratch and making his mark within the farming scene right here in Northern Ireland. Now our youngest ever guest to be on the show, and I cannot wait to have him on. You're watching the official Young Hunger podcast. My name is Michael Burgess. I present to you Mr. Ryan Black.
Hi, my name is Ryan Black. I'm a full-time farmer and I also make YouTube videos about it and sort of showcase my day-to-day life.
You're like someone we've never known before in a way because
it's good or bad thing.
It's good because like the farming, I know we've never touched on that, and I actually said to Ross beforehand like a month or so ago, like this is something I wanted to do, and then it sort of, you just happened to come up. I seen your content actually, and I was like, this young lad is like young, hungry, and like what we want to...
Yeah, what your ideology is.
I talk about, so I guess like for someone who doesn't know you, what exactly is it that you do?
Many things. What I do well, I'm full-time farming, so I'm working on a couple of farms, and I'm now in partnership here farming myself. So I didn't come from a farm background. Parents aren't farmers, no family in farming. Grew up in the countryside, and always, as a kid, watching tractors go by, I was like, that's class, And when I was around 13, 14, neighbour farmer of mine, Kenny Hanna, he's an older man. I actually owe a lot of due to him. He taught me everything I know about farming, I would say.
Really?
He's 74 and he's still working away every day.
Yeah.
But he started selling milk direct from the farm, and he came round and he was, just telling us what he was doing. And so I started cycling around to get milk from his farm. Uh-huh. And when I was around there, I was just fascinated. I could hear this milk machine going, and I was, as a kid, I was nosing in. I was wanting to see what was going on. And one day I just walked straight in. I was in this milking parlour where cows are milked, and it was like nothing I'd ever seen before. I was like, this is where milk comes from. And I just started talking to him. And then every time I went around there, I started going in there. And I used to just sit at the top and watch, and just keep coming. An older man worked away on his own, and like he appreciated the company. And I was learning. I was going home to my mum. I was like, like this is how cows are milked, and like they're milked twice a day, and it's every day, and like he doesn't even take Christmas Day off.
Yeah.
And it just fascinated me because as a child I was always quite hyperactive. Loved being outside, and it just sort of hit. I was like, this is unreal that this happens. Yeah. And I was like, I would love to do this.
What age were you? You were like
13, 14, yeah.
What age are you now? 22?
22, yeah.
Yeah, probably one of the youngest, I guess, guests we've probably had.
Yeah. Yeah. Make me feel young. when I'm feeling old, 22, like.
Yeah.
I've been farming now for what, 8 years nearly. And it feels like a long time.
Yeah.
But I used to go around and sit there every day after school. And one day, I was just sitting talking to him, and he said, you're around here all the time, you might as well help. So, put an apron on there, and he showed me how to milk cows, and that was the start of it. I was going around there every day after school, and he used to give me a pint of, or 2 litre of milk. And I remember coming home, I was like, Mum, we're never going to have to buy milk again. We've got free milk for life. This is unreal. And she was like, I can pay it or anything. She was worried. For me, this was amazing. I was like, 2 litres of milk for doing something I love, no problem.
Yeah.
But it took off from there. Then just slowly, school holidays, I would have worked with him, and the interest grew, and started working on more farms. Then branched out over the years. Once I knew what I was doing, and then it sort of hit me at like 17, 18. I was like, I want to farm.
Yeah.
And anyone I spoke to was like, oh, it's impossible. You're not born on a farm. Careers teachers in school were like, what are you planning for UCAS? I was like, I'm not doing UCAS. I want to be a farmer. And they're like, you're mad. Fill your UCAS form in, Ryan, go to uni, forget about it.
Yeah.
So
what society wants you to do, nearly, isn't it? Like push you on.
Yeah, it's hard. Uni's definitely pushed, especially in big schools like that. But like most of my friends, it fascinates me. I love talking to them about uni. Obviously, I didn't go, and like there's always this thing in the back of your head where you're like, did I miss out on not going to university? Working all the time, not getting that student life, have I missed out on something?
Yeah.
But when I speak to them, most of them don't enjoy what they're, it's not that they don't enjoy, but a lot of them, first year was all right. They were just sort of, a lot of them just went into these courses without knowing exactly what they wanted to do. So they're doing like business or they're doing finance. Then they do their placement and they're working some job and they're like, I hate my placement. And I always ask them, what do you think of your placement? They're like, I hate my placement. And it's like,
yeah.
What are you going to do? Oh, I don't know. Like, I have a friend studying finance. He told me before he wants nothing to do with finance.
Yeah.
And so, why are you finishing this degree? But once you're 2 years down the line, they're like, I'm not gonna pull out of this.
Yeah.
You're investing in it.
Yeah.
So they just finish it. Like, I have nothing against uni. The degree. There's a lot of jobs take degrees,
Yeah, yeah.
But I just think if you're not sure, take your time. Don't rush into it.
See when you were like 14, and like you obviously don't come from a farming background. Did you just know like this thing's for me?
It
Like?
just hit me.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It took a couple of years. I was really enjoying it, but
Mm.
I still wasn't sure. I had other ideas of what I might want to do. I was big into sports. I was big into the gym. You know, I thought about maybe, you know, personal training or something. I like being active. But then there was one day I was like, you know, I'm getting up at 6 a.m. here at the weekends. You know, there's something about this that's drawn me to it. This is, you know, this isn't. It's not that it's not hard.
Yeah.
But it's not much slaving to a job. I'm really enjoying this. This, you know, this is, I've got a call into this.
Yeah.
This is really what I want to do.
You probably went in the hard way because like you started with like zero, like
Yeah.
no animals, do you know?
Yeah.
Nothing.
And again, it's not even that. I had no friends in farming.
Yeah.
You know, I was working for this fella, but when I went to school, there was nobody I could talk to about it. Nobody that I could relate to. And, you know, it was sort of hard for a while. I was quite lonely because it was like, you know, you're this newcomer into farming, especially when then I started farming. Nobody knows who you are. Who's this guy coming in here thinking he's gonna farm? You know, and like I wouldn't say street cred, you know, maybe farm cred. You know, people are like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
You know, coming into farming. But again, over years, you build up a friendship and a group and people, you know, and neighbours, and you get to know more people. And again, in any game, you know, people you know around you that are gonna help you on your journey.
For sure, like.
Especially, but this opportunity arose out of the blue, and people would say, "Oh, you know, that's just luck." You know, I couldn't get that opportunity. But again, if I wasn't working as hard as I was before that, with I had no idea of how I was going to do it. I just knew I was going to do it.
Yeah.
Then luck is when opportunity meets hard work, I always say. And you know, this opportunity could have arisen, and the fella that owns this farm could have looked at me and said, "He's not a worker. He's done nothing. He just talks about it." But because I had the evidence to back what I was talking about, and you know, the drive was there, and like he knew I really wanted to, you know, the opportunity met with that hard work, and it flourished. So yes, I was very fortunate and very grateful to be given the opportunity. But I think if I didn't put the work in before, it would have never. Because
you're up at like. I've seen your stories and stuff. You're up crazy times, calving and all, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, every morning for me starts at 5.
Has it?
No matter what. Weekends vary a bit, but milking gets done at 5 work.
Yeah.
So anything, say I have sheep lambing or cows calving of my own before I have to go to work, that all has to be done beforehand. And then a couple of nights a week, I work very late on the night shifts. But again, it's 24 hour. You know, different times of the year. Summertime's gonna be busy. There's no clocking off, clocking in.
Yeah, it's farming's a funny one because it's a lifestyle, isn't it? It's not even like you can't after 5 o'clock when most people are finished. You're still going.
You're still going. It's when the job's done.
Yeah.
But again, that really appealed to me.
Yeah.
Not in a way that I wanted a life of punishment or a life of hard work, but it's like, anything, farming can relate to anything you do, because it's like you don't finish when you want to finish. You know, you do until it's done.
Yeah.
And again, in relation to anything you go to do in life, you know, you keep going until it's done. You don't just quit at 5.
It is just yourself too. There's no team or nothing, is it?
Yeah. At the minute, you know, the fellas that own the farm would give me a hand all the time.
Does he?
With, you know, he's full-time employment, but say I was really struggling, or, you know, he likes to see things going. But the majority of the manual and the animal work is all me.
Where did you learn them skills?
Again, from working from when I was young.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I had to start from the bottom. I had to learn all that, and it was people that, you know, that mentored me, like them farms that I worked on, that gave me the opportunity. You know, a lot of people would say that this kid never farmed before, I'm not going to give him the job.
Yeah.
They gave me the job, and again, I would sit and listen, and watch, and just every day, every weekend, you know, I obsessed over it.
Yeah.
You know, and again, as we were talking about earlier, watching videos about it. I was watching videos about it.
Yeah.
You know, reading books. Read a couple of books on farming, and again, it just takes years.
Yeah. What have you got now? Like, what is your sort of?
So here at the minute, we've about thereabouts of 100 head of sheep, and
that's all built up.
Yeah, all built up. When I first came here, there's actually a YouTube video of it. I bought 9 ewes, you know, and that was close to 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And you know, we're over 100 now.
Yeah.
And no cows, and I'm about touching 30 odd now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Growing because we're calving still.
Yeah. I love that because like whenever I look at your like content on like you're big into the YouTube and all that type of thing and TikTok, but like you literally record your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's like it's a niche thing. Farmers love watching
farmers.
Farmers doing
We're
what
rare
farming
breed.
does. Yeah. But I just thought that was so interesting.
But
Like,
again, that's what drew me to it as well. There's no industry like it that has such a passion.
yeah,
Because you have to.
yeah,
You know, accountants, yes, there's plenty of people that are passionate about it, but a lot of them people in 9-to-5 jobs, and nothing against it,
Yeah.
because everyone has their own passions. But in this, everyone is so passionate about what they're doing,
yeah,
that, you know, they love it.
yeah,
It's a complete lifestyle. They're watching it, they're doing it, and you know, they're living it.
yeah,
But that appealed to me because I think passion is so anyone that's passionate about something,
yeah,
it's very attractive. You know, it draws you in.
yeah. Do you think you came across your passion by chance? Do you think that was a thing, like, or did you sort of?
Yeah.
You know, because when we're talking to people, a big thing is like, people find it hard, like, to find their passion.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel like it nearly came across you.
Yeah.
Nearly.
Yeah. I'm very grateful, you know, that it did. And I, you know, from such an early age,
Yeah.
you know, I'm still in school. I was like, this is what I want to do. And a lot of people say to me, you know, I can't, you know, you're so lucky, you know what you're passionate about. That's true. I'm very grateful for it. And they say, you know, I can't find my passion. I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I think that passion is built. I don't think that you just fall, you know, people say you're so passionate, but it's not that farming is my passion and every day is great and I wake up and at the start, this was just it and it just clicked and everything worked. People, I think people expect that.
Yeah.
They're like, but I think passion, you have to try plenty of things and you might suck at it at first, but if you keep working at it until you don't suck at it, then you might find you're passionate about it, you know, because they suck at it at first and they're like, oh, it's not my passion. You're not going to be good at it first thing. I sucked at farming. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I enjoyed it. Did
Starting
agree.
from the bottom, really, isn't it?
But I didn't, you know, I wasn't an expert. Not that I'm an expert now. I'm still learning every day. But, you know, my knowledge now far outweighs what it was then when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I still would have claimed, you know, that I'm passionate about it because I wanted to do better.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that as soon as that, you know, if they're not good at it, then it's not their passion. But you have to try many things and suck at a lot of things.
Yeah. What else did you try? Like, what was was there anything else?
Yeah, well, again, I was big in sport. I always talked about wanting to be a PT.
Yeah.
Again, I was quite early on, but I worked different jobs. My brother was big into hospitality, so he used to get
completely different.
Yeah, again, you know, there's 6 children in my family, and we're all completely different. Like I have another brother who's studying medicine, but he's about to graduate.
Yeah.
And then down the line, there's a farmer. You know, it's like what? But we all get along.
Yeah.
But my oldest brother, he's big into hospitality, and like he would have got me jobs, different hospitality jobs. And like, you know, I had no problem speaking to people and being at the front, but I just knew it wasn't
for you. Yeah.
Wasn't for me.
Yeah.
The
thing is about you, like, you show, like, I feel like big, like, TV shows show like the highlight reels of farming. You show like the actual the goriness nearly and like the everyday behind the scenes.
Exactly. I think social media as a whole at the minute can be very you know, everything's great. You know, but I think it is changing. A lot of people are like really want to see realness. And I think I brought a bit of that to it because
you can relate to it then. Yeah.
Especially people that were farming but weren't from farming families were like, you know, this guy, you know, is farming here, you know, and he wasn't reared in it.
Yeah.
You know, so
and you're honest about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if I don't know something, you know, I'll say it. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm learning, and I think if people are watching and can be learning at the same time as you, they can really relate to it. And farming is gory. It's not that it's, you know, it's not that
it's messy nearly.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is
you're
messy.
in there and like
but there's ups and downs. There's life and death. You know, we're working with the livestock, and there's going to be deaths, and there's going to be hard times, and there's going to be, and I think especially with big food industry, they've hidden all that. Yeah. And farmers are kind of under attack because it's like people see, you know, maybe something that is messy, and they're like, ooh, you know, I don't know that because
they want to
the packaging doesn't show that, the advertisements don't show that. And you know, this is the real deal. Yeah. This is what's going on.
Well, you do massive hours, as most or all farmers nearly do.
Yeah.
And you're probably on your own a lot, you know, just from the job.
Yeah.
How do you sort of feel? I feel like mental health is such a big thing in farming.
Yeah.
How do you find all that, or how do you cope?
It definitely has become a big thing. I think it's definitely a struggle for farmers. Yeah. You know, the isolation, long hours, stress, you know, and there's days that things just go completely, everything goes wrong, and you know, you don't want to, you just want to go home and cry, to be honest. You know, I think having a good group of people around you, but again, it's still extremely hard. And ground yourself, you know, knowing that you're only human. Yeah. That mistakes are going to happen. You know, failure for me was a big thing, but I grew up in this industry feeling feeling because everything I done, was from scratch.
Yeah.
And it never was first attempt or second attempt. And you can't let it get you down too much. Especially it's hard to come lambing or calving time, you lose an animal.
Plays on your mind.
Yeah, and you've done everything, you're like, did I do everything I can? But you have to like accept it, accepting that this happens, the failure's part of it, and just, learning from it. Every failure, you can learn from. There's like if I lose an animal or do something wrong or I mess up, I'm thinking to myself, what can I learn from this? Don't just get down in the dumps about it all, because at the end of the day, farming is consistent. As soon as that alarm clock goes off the next morning, the whole thing has to start again, and you have a whole pile of other animals that you looked after.
Aye.
So you can't be caught up. But again, emotions are going to come, and your head is going to play with you.
Yeah.
But as well, doing other things outside of farming definitely helped me. As I spoke to you before.
How did you find your grip, or how did you with farming and stuff? Did you ever?
Yeah, it was definitely tough at the start from not being from farming. But as I, progressed in the industry and was working on different farms, I met different people I was working with, and built a good group of friends in the local area that I work. And I think you build a special relationship. Like I have friends I went to school with, and your friends all. Yeah. You see the ones that are in the pits with you doing the work.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you can also enjoy yourselves at the weekend. That's a brotherhood. Like you guys, know the drill.
Yeah.
You're up at 5 a.m. with, and you definitely build real strong connections, and that's so important. Because as isolated as it is, farming, because you are in your day, take the time in the evenings to go and do things.
How did you build the funding originally to go into farming, like? Because it all costs money, doesn't it?
Serious capital. Again, I've been working my socks off.
Yeah. On other farms.
Saving as much as I could throughout school, and saving as much as I could. But again, it's like, there's going to be months where you can't spend the money on this, where you can't go and do that, and it all has to go into it. And there's going to be days where you're like, not in the minus figures, but you having a lot of money to your name, and it's trusting that it's going to come back. Yeah. Because farming is a long time of paying your dividends off. It's like an investment. If you have an animal, you have to rear it to 2-year-old before you're getting the money back, and by that stage you've forgotten about it, and you don't even know what you've put into it.
Aye.
So again, it's keeping track of everything you're putting in. But again, it was just work. It was pure work to build that all up. I've had no loans or nothing as of yet. I'm trying to stay debt free, but it gets tempting every year.
How did I guess with school and stuff, like if you're trying to farm and go to school.
Yeah.
And you were saying there about the money making.
Yeah, it was tough because I agreed I was going to do my levels. At GCSE, I was into farming.
Yeah.
But I wasn't at the level where I was going to leave school after my GCSEs and go to Greenmount or something. And commit to it. So I was like, I'll do my levels, have a backup. But I was working before and after school. So I was up every morning milking, going to school, making money. I was making sure I made, enough money for that day.
Yeah.
And so, as I was saying to you earlier, I was selling sweets and chocolate in school, flat out. I could make £20 a day, £100 a week. I was no problem with the parents. I was like, I'll go to school as long as you don't mind me getting in trouble.
Yeah. That's good wee business, milking and then doing all that as well.
Those days, I've actually made a YouTube video on called Farm School Farm. And I got 100,000 views because I was milking in the morning, going to school, milking at home.
Yeah.
And then days I could make over £100 and I had school in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And there's how you do it.
Yeah.
Because you can't just work your wee job at the weekends and hope to build up enough money. You have to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And it was a sacrifice. Because I was getting up every morning at 4:30. I was falling asleep in school. I was getting shouted at for being late. I was
tensions lining up.
I was sacrificing lunch to go run about selling sweets and chocolate, which was against the rules.
Yeah.
But again, it's at all costs. I had this vision in my mind of what I wanted to do, and I knew it was going to be a tough road. And I was going to have to build money some way, so that was the way to go about it.
I guess this is sort of one of what I wanted to ask you, but what inspired you to actually video the whole thing? Because I know loads of farmers and none of them video.
Yeah.
But
definitely in the farm world you get a stick from it, because even in school I did at the start, because one, you've no viewers, so you look like an idiot. Yeah. But again, it takes time.
Yeah.
And two, if you make a mistake, or something looks messy in the background of your farm, everyone sees it. Everyone knows what you're doing. Everyone knows where you're at.
Yeah.
But
it's a good idea though.
I always had an interest in videography. I just always loved watching videos.
Yeah.
I loved how they could, motivate you, how they could change your perspective on something so quickly. Yeah. Same with music. It was just if you watched a good video, you were ready to go. So I just started. I always had GoPros and stuff, messed about with them. Started making videos, and I was like, this is you know, and it's funny because I started my videos before I got here. So I was talking about wanting to farm, but I hadn't got here yet.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's interesting to see progression. And even if I didn't go anywhere, I was like, for me, if I do get to where I want to go, I have a diary of how I got there for me to look back on, for maybe future generations to look at.
Yeah.
You know, they can say, you know, I can say it's all documented. It's almost like a diary to yourself. Keeps yourself present because you have to video it.
Yeah.
But again, I just picked up the camera, started making videos.
Yeah. I think it's ballsy because like you're coming into an industry you weren't in before, and then recording it,
and
then
talking about it,
talking about it,
like
and sort of leaving yourself open for like I guess people to be like, what's he doing?
Yeah,
like,
who does think he is? And again, I'd say I probably still get a lot of that. I don't know, but I get a lot of, you know, not a lot, but it's even them wee messages of people that are like, you know, that inspired me so much that makes it all the better.
Yeah.
Recently, there, I had a fella came up to me and was telling me that he loves the videos and has always watched them. And he was from like Fermanagh, he was from down near the border. And he said to me, like, even I done one about A levels or something before. He said, I done A levels and I'm struggling. And I watched your video and I was like, this guy's milking it half over. If he can do that, you know, I can get through my A levels here. I can get through what I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it just touched me. I was like, brilliant. I was like, I want to do more of this. You know, this is what I want. Criticism's going to come and let them criticize all they want.
Did that ever scare you? I guess that ever.
Yeah, it did. I think everyone has a fear of not being liked, especially when you come into a new industry and you go somewhere and they're like, "Yo, there's the kid that makes the videos, thinks he knows everything," and you're like, you know, you don't know me. You know me through the videos, but you don't know me.
Yeah.
You know, there's a realness there, but you don't know everything that goes on in someone's head. But yeah, it definitely was a big fear. Again, you just have to
do it, like.
Yeah, it's gonna come.
What's the sort of like you hit like was it 5 million or something?
Yeah, well, over 5 million on views. Just
mad,
touching 30,000 subs. Yeah, but again, it took off. Sort of, I made a video 80 hours a week, 18 years old, and again, it was just a 3-minute video of sort of compilation of what I do in a week.
Yeah.
And I remember I made it actually. I done an all-nighter to get it finished. I remember going to better perform.
Yeah.
But it sat at, you know, maybe 1,000 views for a while. And then it hit like 100,000, and then it just kept growing. And
just like that?
And it went up to 3.2 million.
Did it?
And that was during COVID, and the school got in touch with me.
Yeah.
The school that were giving me detentions for being late now wanted to put me in the school magazine.
What I feel like?
It was like 360. It was like, you've been giving me stick for years for leaving school early to go to work or for being late, and now you want to put me in the magazine and celebrate me. You know? And it was funny because when obviously we were off for COVID, so we never got a leavers. We went back then to school for leavers, and teachers were like, "You're doing so well now." It's like, you were telling me careers. I had nothing going for me. I need to fill out this UCAS and make sure I get my levels, you know. And it proved to me that there's so many, you know, when you're in school and you're stuck in that, these exams are all, you're like, this determines my success.
Yeah.
Whereas,
it's like life or death.
Yeah.
Really, isn't
whereas
it?
when you enter the real world, you're like, whoa, I need to do a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, these exams aren't going to get me everywhere I want to go.
Yeah.
I need to do a lot more, or I don't need them at all. I can do something else and still get to a high level of success.
Yeah.
But you know, it was amazing. It was great when it was, and I do need to keep posting.
Yeah.
But again, it takes a lot of time.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's good that you can do both. Like, you're doing your content when you're working.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's sort of, you're killing two birds with one stone there, and then
exactly. And it just, I think it makes every day a wee bit more interesting because you're constantly thinking, you're like, how could I video this, or how could I?
Yeah.
Again, it's not just mundane of doing everything all the time, and you're getting feedback as well. You know, you can get so many ideas, and the people I've met through it, you know,
I'm sure is mental.
Yeah, like people would say to you, watch your videos or message you. Last week I was on a Zoom call with a group of students from Sweden, helping them with their master's thesis on AI. They were developing a product for AI for farming. Yeah, and they had seen my YouTube, popped me a DM on Instagram, said, "Will you do the Zoom call?" I was like, "Yeah, it's interesting. Why not? I'll help them out." I'm chatting to these people from Sweden. You know,
are you up for everything? Because I feel like whenever we said about the invite for the podcast, you're like there's no like ifs or buts.
I think you have to grab every opportunity. Yeah. Because, you know, no matter what, you never know what will come out of it. Yeah. And I found that before I was very, you know, sort of hesitant to do things, or I don't know these people that are DMing me.
Like that held you back.
Yeah. But it's like, give it a chance. You don't know what will come of it or who you'll network with. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because somebody might see it. Them Swedish students might have knew somebody else, and when it comes around, you know, I still keep in touch. If it comes around, I need something. Yeah, they're there. Yeah. You know, again, as people say, it's not about what you know; it's about who you know. And especially in this game, or any business game,
Yeah.
it's so important.
That's the thing about like even like a network, a strong network of like we were talking to you beforehand, and like you were rhyming off stuff that me and Ross were like, this guy.
Yeah.
Like we all think the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And again, it's very hard to find like-minded, driven individuals.
Yeah.
Especially in this country sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you can build a good group,
yeah,
you know, it just makes things so much easier. You know, when you're on your own and you're struggling, a lot of doubt can come in your head. You're like, why am I bothering? But when you see other people that are getting after it, wanting to do the same thing, you're like, I'm ready to go. Yeah. Not that I'm competitive, but you're like,
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah.
They're doing it. I'm going to do better.
No, that's good. Well, you have any, like, just on the topic of, like, YouTube and stuff you've done really well, is there any, like, tips you have that worked?
I think, especially in the game now, it's realness. You know, we've seen the rise of YouTubers, the likes of Sam Sulek. I'm sure you've heard of the gym guy. Yeah. He's completely raw. You know, he's himself. I think people, because we sort of went through a phase there of like mad editing, everyone was, the rise of vloggers were all doing these mad things. You know, social media sort of became like a
picture perfect.
Yeah, and everyone was looking at it like, oh, it's entertaining. Yeah. But it was like, that's so fake, or that's just their life, and my life's not like that. But when you see someone real and you can relate to it, and it also inspires you, you're like,
it's so much more impacting,
yeah,
isn't it?
And you're like, I want to watch so much more of this because this is great.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the future. I think it's sort of going to do a loop. It's going to go back to the original YouTube days, where it was just camera and people talking about real stuff. Yeah. And real inspiration.
See, moving away from the farming.
Yeah.
What do you actually get up to? Like, I know you've done like. Was it an Ironman? Wasn't
it was an Ironman 70.3 last year. Yeah. And especially a lot of my followers on Instagram had just seen farming, next minute marathon, next minute Ironman. Yeah. They're like, what's this? This guy's lost his mind. And it was the start of last year. I would say 2022 was a tough year. And coming into 2023, January, I was sort of like, I was always in the gym, I was always in sport. But my mind just wasn't where I wanted to be. It's not that I was down or sad. I was, still getting everything I needed to get done. Yeah. But I was like, I need an outlet. I need something. I want to challenge myself, push myself a bit harder, do something else.
Yeah. Away from the farming.
Yeah, sort of, again, it's great for your head to do something that's not to do with farming. But also, I think when you're in the box, when you're in the farm and you're constantly thinking about a problem, I go to the gym, I go for a run. Next minute, I'm not thinking about it. Yeah. But next minute, the answer to that question comes just out of the blue. Yeah. And, I think it's great. I train now most days that I can.
Where do you fit that in? Like evenings, I'm guessing, if you're...
Evenings, early mornings, sometimes lunchtimes, just whenever I can. Again, another challenge. And definitely fatigue's another challenge as well. But again, I enjoy it that much, and getting away from it, I try and make it a priority more. Yeah. As well as work, it's like this training has to be done. Yeah. So the Ironman came about, just done the marathon, fell in love with this endurance, what it made me feel, the mental side of things. Signed up for 80 days before. But again, it changed, when you're struggling with something on the farm, you tap into, I ran a marathon, or how did I feel during that Ironman? I can get through this right now. This is no challenge. Again, when you're training, you're like, I've just done 15 hours of work. I can train for another hour here. They complement each other, I think. Yes. Anything that takes hard work, you can combat that with training, because training is hard work as well. And it's training the mind both ways.
There's nothing quite like it. Do you know what I mean? Like the physicality of like getting a good gym session, good run.
You feel amazing, and it's so hard. I understand people aren't into that, but I always tell people to try it. Like,
what I see, like an Ironman, I understand like marathons and like triathlons, but like an Ironman's like 2 or 3. What would you say, like?
Yeah, it's like an extreme level of it all together. So it's a triathlon, but it's all like very long distances. So mine was 70.3 miles. It was what they classify as a half Ironman. Right. But it was still, a 2K swim. Some people can't run 2K.
Yeah. What's a pool, like 25 meters?
Yeah. Well, I was training in a 20-meter pool.
Were you?
So I was going to have to do like 100 lengths.
That's only one section of it.
And then you're coming out and you're straight into a 90K cycle. And you're on the bike for 3.5 hours, just trucking along. And it's hilly, and then you're off the bike and you're straight into a half marathon. Yeah. And not
what's the legs like after, like, if you're doing your cycling and a marathon?
Yeah, and especially trying to train for that. Yeah.
How do you?
It's very hard. Yeah. You're just concentrating each individual bit. and then you're trying to put bits together, but you'll never do the full thing. Some people will, but I never had time, 6.5 hours to go and do the full thing.
Aye.
So, you know, you're going in dark, you come off the bike and you're running, and like, you feel like you've done bricks on your legs.
Yeah.
You know, the weight of them is mad. But again, it completely, after that experience, after pushing myself through that, it was like another level.
Yeah.
You know, I treat each of these things as like a level, and you know, of how far you can go to you know, to what edge you can go to. And as soon as you do something that's above that level, you break through it, there's another level.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, boom, you know, I can do that.
Yeah.
You asked me 2 years ago to do that, I would have said no way, not a chance. But as soon as you break through that level, you know, there's another one. But again, that relates into work. They're like something that you maybe thought you couldn't do, or that was a bit risky, you're willing to take the risk.
Yeah.
You know, it all combats into everything you do in life. But that's what I love about it, and that's what I really took from it. But it changed my life.
I remember you saying like two people died
Yeah. So
in that race.
So it was definitely a tough weekend. The weather, the storm Betty at the time, was really rough. The first day I was supposed to take part, it got cancelled, so then it got postponed, and we were down there. You know, I was down there from 5 in the morning. You're standing on the beach, ready to start, and you're watching these waves crash, and like they're playing Thunderstruck, AC/DC, and your head is all over the place.
Yeah.
But again, I said to myself, and I'd said to my friends, said to everyone, I'm finishing this.
Yeah.
You know, whether I crawl across it or not, I'm finishing this.
Where were you? Cork, wasn't it?
Yeah, down in Cork.
Aye.
So we got to the start line, and as soon as you all go in sections, and like 6 at a time, boom, straight into the water, 6 at a time. And I remember standing there, and I could see people starting. I could see these waves far in the back, and people getting out of the water, saying no way.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, who wasn't a strong swimmer, swimming's definitely not my strong part of the triathlon. I was nervous, most nervous I've ever been for anything. My mouth was in my stomach. So we started, and as soon as, you know, ran towards the water, first wave hit me in and around the waist, and cold water shock. You're like, you know, heart starts racing. Next wave straight over my head, knocked me back, and it was in that moment I was like, this is go time, and that's all you can think about is getting out of that water. You have 2 kilometers in front of you, and you just go. And again, that definitely, and again, the sea can be very lonely.
Yeah.
You're out there. There's no stopping either.
Yeah.
You know,
People
waves
kicking you and all.
kicking you,
Yeah.
people swimming, and everyone just sort of in the same way where it was like, you know, everyone knew that this was not sweet. You know, this was tough.
Yeah. It's a life or death nearly at that point.
Well, you know, at the time I felt that.
Yeah.
And when I got out of the water, and you know, we had confirmed the 2 people that died, we knew that it was life and death. And it was tough because when I was coming in to getting out of the sea swim, there was a fella just to the right of me. One of the fellas that had actually died had passed out. And like, I remember, you have your swimming cap on, goggles, the whole thing's murky, you see water, you can see the crowds, you can hear the cheering, but it's, you know, everything's a daze.
Yeah.
I could hear them screaming for this guy. I came running out of the water. My mind was all over the place. And I looked back and I seen they pulled him up on the beach. Next minute, an ambulance flying down past me. And like,
it's like a war zone nearly,
yeah,
isn't it?
And I sat down to get changed for the cycle. And I said to the guy next to me, I said, that was mad. I said, I was mad. I think that guy's dead. And yeah, like I did. And the whole way through the cycle, that was all just in the back of your mind, you know. And there was just murmurs about it. And then, you know, it was afterwards that we found out.
Well, how was it whenever you actually heard that, like, this guy actually died?
Yeah.
Here? How was that mentally? Because I can't even sort of imagine.
Yeah, because it was like, we finished the race. And it was like, we finished the race, and the relief of it now, you're like, and everyone's cheering and all. And then afterwards, it was like, you know, the news sort of cycled through. We didn't find out during the race. It was just murmurs about it. And it sort of dulled it all. But again, for me, it was sort of like, you know, wow, like that was tough. Like I really did push myself there because 2 athletes didn't make it out. And, you know, it definitely played in the mind, and it definitely put me off wanting to swim in the sea again. And I've overcome that. But for a while, I was like, you know,
yeah,
you know, it changed your mindset completely.
It's nearly more than just a race, isn't it? Then?
Yeah,
It's like,
and again, with a lot of them big endurance races, it's the training behind it as well. It's the no days off. You know, when I was getting it tough, I was thinking back to the nights that I'd put in a 15-hour shift here, and then went out for a run, and I was like, don't let that guy down. That was on his own. You know, this is what it all comes to. If anything, this should just be finishing what you started. But I'm not gonna say that it made you more appreciative of finish, you know, because it was obviously very upsetting the 2 people that died. But it was like, wow, you know, I was able to overcome that. You know, that was really something. you know, it was almost tougher than what a normal race would be because
Of all that.
you know, with all this going on and the swim conditions, and you know, it really did harden the mindset, and like, you know, it changed.
What's next? Is there another one coming up? Would you do it again, or is this something you've done? You've ticked the box onto the next?
At the time, I would have told you never again.
Yeah.
During it, you know, during the toughness of it.
Yeah.
But people always say a week later you're wanting to sign up for another one. So I have Paris Marathon.
Have you?
Taking part in it in 3 weeks. You
know, how's the training going for it?
It's going all right. I have a big run to do tomorrow. But again, it's discipline. You know, it's saying that this needs to get done. You know, there's days that I just want to go home to bed and I'm knackered from work, but it has to get done.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that. And then I have another triathlon to do in July in London. Well, to do, I signed up for it and paid for it.
Do you do it yourself, or is there like a group of guys?
No, I'm doing it all myself at the minute.
I think that's interesting. It's like there's something nearly in you there to like go out and get it, you know.
I would say I've always been very driven. Always been a bit mad, people would say. You know, we're working all these hours and doing all this training, but again, it's what I love. You know, I love the kick I get off it. I love the buzz.
What do you do like to relax? Like, what do you actually do? Do you even relax, or is farming relaxing, or what way?
Yeah, I think certain jobs and stuff are relaxing. The likes of summertime, getting out in the tractor and stuff, and getting a bit of field work can be relaxing. Again, I've never been, you know, I don't really watch TV.
No.
Bit of YouTube. I listen to a lot of podcasts while I'm working. But downtime for me is like being outside.
Yeah.
Mountains, or like hiking. You know, it's not that it's relaxing on a beach, or it's not that it's sleeping.
The mindset's always going nearly.
Always like to be doing something.
Yeah.
But again, the odd day you need to sleep in. You need to take a sleep because it all catches up on you.
Yeah.
And it's definitely tough at different times of the year when you're working the candle both ends.
Yeah, I'm sure it sort of gets draining at some point. Like.
Yeah, it definitely hit walls.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I was younger and I was milking nights and getting up in the morning and sleeping. You know, not that I do any better sleep now, but everyone was like, "Oh, you're gonna hit a wall. You're gonna hit a wall." And I was like, "I'll never hit a wall. You know, you're unstoppable. You're young. You're unicorn blood."
Yeah.
But it does catch up on you.
Yeah, we've said that about that before.
Yeah.
Like it's actually nuts. You just said that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But again, this is the time to do it. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people say to me, will criticize me and say, you know, you're gonna wreck yourself. You're 22. Go out and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
But for me, this is the time to do it because I'm building from nothing. If I can put in, so say I'm 22 now, if I can put in 8 years, I've put in 8 already. If I can put in another 8 years of this graft, where could I be?
Yeah.
I could be miles ahead of anyone. And then when I'm 30, you know, I'm not gonna have to do all this because I'll have built up my business, or I'll have built up what I've wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
And then I can take steps back. Whereas other people are like, enjoy your life now, work later.
Yeah.
Why would I want to work when I'm 30?
Yeah.
You know, not that there's anything against that, but why would I want to work the hours I'm working now? Because I have to work the hours I'm working now. People say, oh, you know, work smarter. You know, everyone's working smarter now, but there's no way around the hard work. You got to work harder and smarter than the next person if you want to get ahead, or you want to get ahead in your business.
Yeah.
And for me, not to be arrogant or anything, but I always wanted to be the best. You know, but that's what you should aim for, I think.
Yeah, but people probably say like, oh, maybe that's arrogance then.
Yeah,
Or people really.
Yeah, people think you're a narcissist.
Try to put a lid on it, or the crab in the bucket, as you
said
before.
You know, pulling you down. And again, sometimes I don't want to let that all out. You know, if I'm talking to people, I don't want to be like, you know, I'm going to work every hour possible. But that is, I can't lie to myself. That is the mindset. Yeah. You know, I always used to say to my mum, she'd be saying to me like, why do you get up so early? Why do you go to bed so late? I was like, there's something about being the first one up and the last one to bed that I love.
Yeah.
That might sound mad. Isn't it? Yeah. That might sound mad. But when I hit the pillow and I know that I've done more than everyone else, I'll sleep better.
Yeah. Well, tell me this here. This is something we ask on like every podcast, but like, what is success to you? Because everyone who says it says something different. Yeah. So I'm keen to sort of see your mind.
Yeah. Again, it's something I've really struggled with over the last years of like this journey of climbing the mountain, and this North Star at the top of the mountain, this goal, you know, want to be successful. What am I chasing here? And then every time you hit another goal, you know, you're happy for a while, and then the next minute you look up, and there's another mountain. Yeah. And it's like, when does this end? And it reminded me of a story I love, the myth of Sisyphus. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. No. A Greek mythology story. Right. It's basically about a Greek god that got punished to pushing a boulder up a hill, but every time it gets to the top of the hill, it rolls back down and there's another hill. Yeah. And there's like a moral of the story behind it. Life is a constant uphill battle, And when you do get the highs, you then get another low and you have to climb up again.
Yeah.
And people are like, that's so depressing. But it's like when you can find the beauty in that it never ends and that it's constantly hard work, you know, then you almost unlock the secret to success. But you know, I've really struggled, and I still struggle with it. I haven't got a complete answer.
Yeah.
I'm still battling with it, questioning it all the time. I'm laying it all on the table, but also being present with what I'm doing, you know, enjoying at the minute, and not constantly being like, I need to be here, because again, that can be very draining on yourself, and you can never take the time to enjoy what you're doing because you're like, I'm chasing this success that keeps running away.
Yeah.
And you know, it's really hard to come up with an answer. But I think in the future, I want to build the mountain. You know, this mountain that I'm climbing, I'm climbing and building it at the same time. That maybe in the future it'll be my family, it'll be my friends, it'll be my business. Yeah. And I'll be pulling everyone up to the top. And it'll not be that I'm constantly climbing it, or constantly chasing. It'll be like I'm at the top and I've like a mountain of my success. Yeah. Which again, I think by you. Yeah, made by me, that I think will be family, business doing well. You know, it's not that I want all the money in the world, but you want to be comfortable. You know, you want to achieve things, and you want to, you know, almost leave this mountain behind. Yeah. So that when you do go, a legacy. That legacy is there. That mountain is there. Yeah. And I think that is it. But again, I struggle because I'm like, should I be going on holiday here? Should I be traveling the world with my friends? Taking the foot off the gas nearly. You know, or should I be giving it my all at 22? You know, and again, it can be very lonely because not many people think like that. It's like a black sheep, nearly, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And like, you ever heard of that? I came across something last week there, and it was like, you keep hearing this, you know, everyone tells you climb the ladder. Yeah. Well, something in my head was just like, why not make your own ladder? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you can relate that. Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's like, there's no set ladder. Yeah. You know, there's no elevator either. People think, you know, we're going to work smart, make a few moves, next one they're going to be at the top. Like, that's not going to happen. Yeah. Because again, you're looking at where people are, but you don't see the mountain behind them or their own ladder. And their ladder could be long, you know, very long, and it could be a bad shape, and you might not want to climb it. So I think, you know, again, everyone's journey is different, and you have to build your own. You have to, you know, if you're trying to climb a ladder, somebody else's, and you can't, then you're going to be discouraged. You're going to be like, oh, it's not for me. It's not my passion. It's not what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. If you're building your own ladders, you're going along, and you're going to get to the top of it. Yeah, well, you're doing so much. Like, you're doing so much with the farming, you're doing so much with triathlon, right? What actually inspires you to do it? Like, what goes in your head, being like, you know what? Do you look to someone, or is there something just? There's definitely people, you know, that are in doing things in their life, successful people that inspire me. But I think a lot of it comes from within. I don't know. I think it's born like that. Nearly, it's just. Yeah, I think I struggled when I was younger. It wasn't that I had a fear of being a nobody. You know, it wasn't that, you know, and I'm not trying to say I want to be somebody, I want to be a superstar, but I don't want to be, you know, I want to be, everything I can do, I want to give it all. Yeah. And again, that's the struggle with giving it all and being present and enjoying life. But it's like, if I can enjoy life and build it all and, you know, and do everything I can give it 100%, then, you know, there's not much more I can ask for myself. Yeah. And again, it was funny, a girl asked me recently, I was doing a run. Over the summer I was doing a run, like a 30k trail run or something mad. And she texted me and she said, how do you do it all? And the first thing that came to my head was actually a quote from Chris Williamson. And he said, a crippling sense of insufficiency. And it's like every day. And that sounds depressive. But it's like every day, if I don't give it my all, I almost feel like I've done myself an injustice. And when I go to bed at night, if I haven't done as much as I can, you know, you struggle to sleep, and it's down to you, it's your fault. Yeah. So I think a lot of it's been internal. There's definitely people I look up to. There's definitely people Goggins, yeah. Went down to see David Goggins, and a lot of people, again, he's crazy, you're crazy, you know. But again, it's taking bits from him. Yeah. You know, reading their books. I read his books, went down to Dublin to listen to him speak. And again, it changes you. It's people like that can really have a power because it's real. And yes, he's extreme, but as you spoke about, that was his ladder. Yeah. You know, my ladder's going to be different. I can take bits of his ladder and put it onto mine. You know, take inspiration from that, or just wee nuggets. Yeah, that wee mindset. I think it's all about that. People think that if you follow somebody or you're inspired by them, you have to do exactly what they done. But it's never the way. Do you think the blueprint's different for everybody? Yeah, everyone's life is different. We're all completely different. You know, and yes, we might have the same goal. you know, I heard a thing recently that was like everyone at the start of a 100-meter sprint has the same goal, which is to win, but not everyone wins, you know. So it's the blueprint behind the training that they've done, their mindset, you know, the race day and everything that allows them to win. So yeah, we can all have the same goals. We can all want to be successful, but you have to build your own blueprint that is going to work and that is going to win for you in whatever you do, whether it be sport, whether it be farming, whether it be, you know, any business. It's necessary because we're all different. Goals are all the same.
Yeah. Do you have, what's your next big goal, I would say?
I think just to continue to grow here. I always wanted to milk cows myself because I was milking for so many different people.
Yeah.
But again, it's extremely high capital to put in a milking part or to buy the cows to do it. Again, many people have told me not to bother, which has probably made it worse because I'm like, you know, I want to do it more. But I'm working towards that. I have 6 dairy heifers of my own. But again, it takes time. And I think when I was younger, I definitely wanted it all to happen at once. But as I've grown older, and I can sort of look back, when I was 16, I had nothing. You know, no farm, no car, no nothing. I used to bike and work, and I could only dream of what I have now. So if I'm not grateful for it now, and like accepting that, you know, I work towards all this, then I'm just constantly going to be looking towards, you know, the next big thing. But I think it's just to continue to grow. You continue to get better at everything I'm doing. And you know, this farm hadn't been farmed in property in 40 odd years when I came here. So so it's taken a lot of work. People had rented different fields and stuff. It's taken a lot of work to get the whole thing going. And sort of just to get it all running well.
You said something really interesting there. It's like you wanted it quick.
Isn't
that at the start? Like it's sort of like the short-term gratification is like now it's like you've actually got the long-term.
Well, I think patience is a massive thing.
Especially at our age, isn't it?
It's
like,
and we see so many things, you know, about quick money, quick success, especially on social media.
It's like, why does it need to be quick?
And I think at the time you want it to be so quick. And patience isn't that exciting. You know, people say, you know, you need to work hard and all, you know, it gets you going. If somebody says you need to be patient, you're like, oh, you know, I don't want to sit around. I want it as soon as I can. I want to work for it and get it. But I think when you do look back after 4 years of working, you're like, wow, you know, I was patient. I was putting in the work when things didn't look to be coming my way. You know, when I wasn't making a hot money or hot anything. And it just was a slow build. And now I'm here. You're like, patience is so important.
You've been through the mill. Like what's your sort of biggest lessons, I guess, from?
Again, there's a mountain of things. Patience would be up there. You know, accepting that you need to have patience. And it's not pretty. You know, you tell a 16-year-old that wants to go all guns blazing, you say, look, you need to be patient here. They'll be like, no.
I way on, mate.
You know. And again, patience would be a big thing. Putting in the work on, you know, not expecting to see big things back right away. You know, and just sitting in it. Because it can be so, you get up every morning 5 for a year even. And you work every day and you don't have a whole lot at the end of it. Most people want to give up. Most people would think it's going nowhere. But again, that's when most people will give up. So if you can just go a bit more or go a bit more than everyone else, then it will come your way. And it will in time. You know, I think the world is...
It's guaranteed nearly, isn't it?
It's very given. But it can be so hard to see that, especially when you don't feel like anything's coming your way. It's so easy to give up and it's so easy to just go and do something else. And again, I would say, for me, advice-wise, I would say, you know, be selfish at times. I think I was a bit of a people pleaser back in the day where I was working hard for other people.
Making them happy?
And thinking that I had to do this, you know, when I could have been doing something for myself or working for myself a bit more. But, you know, I was almost wrecking myself for other people. Not that I don't say to work hard for people. Even if you're in any job, I think you should work hard at it and give it your best. But going above and beyond all the time, when you need that yourself, you need to be doing something yourself and you're draining yourself, you know, just be selfish sometimes and say no, you know, I need to do this myself, or I need to go to the gym, I can't work extra hours, whatever, because this, you know, gym's for myself or training's for myself, or I need to go to my business and work on it.
You sound like a man who's like 40. Like, you know so much at such a young age, which I find like really interesting. Like,
I know, well, I think that's all just built through experience.
You
know, people, you know, again, 22, but like working from 13, 14 every day, and you know, been through it all. Not through it all because there's plenty more to come. But I've been through the ups and lows. You know, a lot of people that haven't are scared to do it. You know, are scared to work hard because they haven't been through it. But again, we're sort of in this bubble of go to school, come home, homework, go to school, come homework, university or job, you know, they haven't been exposed to it. Whereas at like 14, you're on a farm, you know, you do something wrong, you're gonna get shouted at.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's not all, you know, it's not all big safety bubble. Nobody's gonna hurt you here.
Yeah.
Nobody's allowed to say anything nasty to you. Farms are not
There's
governed.
no safety net really,
No.
is there? Like,
You do something wrong,
Yeah.
you could, you know, and you know, safety is a big thing too. You know, if you're driving a tractor or anything, you do something wrong, or you know, working with animals, you do something wrong, somebody can end up getting hurt or
Yeah.
killed.
Yeah.
So, you know, you need to. And I think people in this generation need to learn to take a shout at, because you don't do it again. You know,
Yeah.
if you get shouted
you'll
at for
remember that,
something,
like.
you know not to do it again.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, through that experience of hard work and really being in the pits,
Yeah.
you know, it builds up so much knowledge. That's where the knowledge is built from.
Yeah, and
that's
the
where,
confidence, yeah, I guess, yeah.
and that's where, like, not wisdom, but again, wisdom will come out of that with patience over years,
Yeah.
and experience, you know, and that's where it all you know.
Looking into the future, right? 5 years down the line, maybe even when you're 30,
Yeah.
where do you want to be? What's your sort of, what does that guy look like? What does
Yeah.
that version of you look like?
I think me times 8. You know,
Love that,
8
yeah.
years. You know, I
Yeah.
would put in 8 years work. You know, but I think it's just I love learning. I love learning about, you know, I read a lot, and I love learning about different things, and I love learning about myself. I think it's just striving to be a better version of myself, and,
Yeah.
and to be able to do harder things. So say I'm 30, you know, who knows? But then I could have a family.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to be the best person in that family, or in a relationship, I want to be the best person in that relationship I can be. So it's constantly, you know, being better at the things that I'm doing in every aspect. So, you know, for business, personal relationship,
Everything.
you know,
Yeah.
social media wise, I would love to grow it all. You know, just every day, it's just like a journey of, you know, constantly getting better. And people don't like that. You know, a lot of people think you're mad, you know.
Yeah.
And I think with a lot of, it's become a big self-improvement and all. And I think it's that, you know, it's like, oh, you're just following the trend, and, you know, it's all self-improvement, you just want to do it. But it's like, everyone's on their own ladder.
Yeah.
You just want to continue to be the best version of yourself. And that for me, that's what I want, and inspire other people. You know, if I can put out videos that really inspire other people, brilliant.
Of one more for you. Tell me this here, right? This is something we ask in every podcast, but if you could give one piece of advice for somebody regarding anything, what would you say?
It's a big one. Don't be afraid to lay it all on the line. You know, a lot of people I find with anything they do, that there's just that like barrier of fear with, you know, the likes of doing a marathon, or the likes of starting a business, or the likes of, you know, like jumping into doing anything. There's like this barrier of fear, and you have to go right to the edge of it and push it right to the edge.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. You know, people think, oh, it just comes naturally, you can just do that. But it's not. It really is hard.
Yeah.
And you really have to just...
Right up to the wire nearly.
Yeah, right up to the wire, right up to that edge of where you think you can go. Because I tell you one thing, you will break through it.
Yeah.
And then you'll realise there's another mountain to climb here.
Yeah.
But again, you'll grow so much through that. And, you know, it's such a hard thing to do, but just do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people love talking about it. A lot of people love
doing it,
planning to do it.
Yeah.
But throw yourself in the deep end as soon as you can.
Yeah.
You know, because you will learn and you will fail, and accept that failure, and, you know, you'll come out far better than it. You can't just dabble about in the shallow end and hope that
2 feet.
You know, hope that you'll tip over the deep end and you'll get there. You just got to jump straight in, and it's so hard to do.
Yeah.
But
you've done it, like you're living.
Well, and I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
You know, the likes of these things, and the likes of even everyday decisions. I'm like, you know, people are like, oh, don't save money, you know, don't spend it on that. You know, it's like, you just gotta sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to work. You're not always going to be right, but you learn from that.
Yeah.
You know, you land in the deep end, somebody pulls you out.
Yeah.
You know, you learn. You know, maybe maybe we're not go that deep, or maybe I need to get a bit stronger at something else, and then I'll be able to swim in the deep end.
Yeah.
You know, so but that's my biggest thing, and I see it so many times. I see it with my friends. I see it in people I speak to. I couldn't do that. So many I couldn't. So many I can't. No way.
You're nearly telling yourself.
Yeah, and it's like, you're telling yourself you can do whatever you want. And I'm not saying you can fly, but you can, like, the mind is so powerful. And it's not that you can just think it and do it. It's that you can think it and then do the work to do it.
Yeah.
You know, to the likes of running marathons, or the likes of building a business. Building up to it, saving the money, working, training in the gym, it all leads up to then being able to do it.
Yeah.
That first no just cuts that off. As soon as you say I can't do that, you know,
It's done.
you're never going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And like, I read a great book recently called The Expectation Effect.
Right.
And it was pretty much all about that. If you tell yourself, I can't,
Yeah.
you're expecting that you can't, and your brain automatically programs, you know, your whole thought process, you're never going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So it's pushing the line of fear and pushing the line of I can't and just going for it, like straight into the deep end.
Ryan, thank you so much. I actually really enjoyed that.
Michael, I hope so.
Like speaking to someone so young as well is actually really refreshing.
Yeah.
Like I think the knowledge you have is absolutely mental and crazy. Like, and
I hope to build on it. Like, you know, just that's the whole goal. And
yeah.
I hope I didn't blabber too much, because sometimes I find
no, here
go out in the deep stream, just start talking.
You're grand. I've actually we've got a present for you.
Wish I could return the favour, but
no, you're grand. We've actually
a few lambs down there. If you want.
I got actually something basically from us as a thank you.
I appreciate it.
So there you go, lad.
Thank you very much.
Sure, no problem at all.
Means a lot.
Pleasure to have you on. So that has been all from Ryan. Go check out what he is about, and I will catch you guys in the next one.